We picked beer as a business first rather than knowing we wanted to be entrepreneurs. We're at 1055 Brewing. My partner JP and I started our company about 4 years ago now. We were both home brewers beforehand, really had a passion for beer and thought there was room in the market for a small brewery our size, cranking out lots of new beers, lots of rotators. We sell a lot of our beer here on site in our tap room, but also distribute to about 30 bars and restaurants around town.
Our name comes from the history of being in combat rescue. I spent 28 and a half years in the military. My life is still in the military.
He actually came up with the idea to actually open a real brewery while he was deployed in Afghanistan.
I was a home brewer for, 8 or 9 years, and when I got back from Afghanistan in 2012, I asked my wife if she wanted to open a brewery, and lo and behold, she said yes. And then I was like, oh God, now I have to go through with it. Right about 8.5 or 9 months we've been open. It's been going awesome. You know, we see month over month increase in sales and repeat customers, and then new customers are recommending us to people from out of town. So things are going really, really well.
There were a couple things we underestimated. One was the demand that people wanted to come down and actually drink our beer right here. In addition, on the wholesale side, we anticipated we would have a few accounts here and there, but we are at 30 accounts we're out of beer. I am in the position of having to say no to new bars and restaurants when they want to buy our beer. We're working very hard on an expansion downtown. When that happens, we'll have some more production capacity, but until then, we're selling all the beer we can make.
Our story, I think, is a little bit different in that we really focused on not financing things. We took 3 years accumulating equipment to open small at 3 barrels.
We originally were gonna try to do a Kickstarter or a Indiegogo campaign, and after we looked into everything that went into that, all the fees that were taken out from everybody and their grandmother that was part of that, and then all the stuff that you promised to people, at the end of the day, it really wasn't worth it. So we came up with our mug club for our Founders Club. We sold out of all our lockers within about a month of opening. It's kind of a mug club on steroids. It was a $500 buy-in for the folks.
It's a fun way, and it really has become kind of our little brewery family.
Our plan had always been to open a brew pub downtown. A year and a few months back, Arizona passed crowdfunding legislation that let us raise money from here locally within our community. It is still regulation of a pretty difficult subject of bringing investors into a company. So even though it had been around for almost a year, we were still the first ones to use it.
Opening in the last few months, there may be a mind shift to be not as big as world domination, but a little bigger than what we are, and producing really good quality beer that people want to come down to Tucson and seek us out.
I am a little tired, a little bit tired. We both still work full time, so this is like our moonlighting gig.
The day that it's my only event to do is to come down here and brew. I mean, it's just awesome.
So the intention in starting this operation was to build that experience so that we could raise some capital and we could bring investors into the company. And that's the wave we're riding now. We just finished our equity round, brought in almost $1 million into the company, and so we are shopping real estate and equipment downtown. Our minimum investment was $10,000, so it wasn't quite the traditional crowdfunding campaign where you're looking for $10 from 1 million people. And they wanted to come down here and have a beer with me and ask me about, how did you determine these projections? Where are these numbers going to come from? So as a result, and any bugs that there are kinks that we did have, we've worked out with our investors over the last year or so. So no, we're not nervous, but definitely ready to get started.